And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's Friday. It is the 23rd, January 2026. Hope you're having a good day. Let me start out by saying, don't screw around with the weather. Especially when it turns to ice, do not get into a car. You will have no control of the brakes. And all you got to do is go look at some videos of what happens where piles of cars end up on top of each other because people decided to go out during icy conditions. I am in New York. I was supposed to leave Sunday. I am leaving tomorrow. I'm getting the heck out of here to go back to Florida. I hear it's going to be in the 80s in Florida. Now you know why I live in Florida. But just take care of yourself. If you have to go get things, go get it now. Get it all done. Hunker down. Don't screw around with weather. We always talk about it in Florida when hurricanes are coming, that just don't screw around with it because weather has no bias. Do not forget that. Muy importante. All right, moving on. We're 7-1. In football picks this year. As you know, we came out of semi-retirement. We've been doing playoffs and Super Bowls for a long time, but we really haven't done playoffs in a while. And we felt good, and we're 7-1 that we've given out. And we got 2 games this weekend. And I must tell you, 2 of the toughest games to handicap. Let's start with New England and Denver. Number 1, it's in Denver. I live there. It's a tough place to play. The fans are rabid. The altitude and all that. I'm about to look up Denver weather just so we cover ourselves. You ready? Sunday, high of 18, low of 6. And maybe a little bit of snow. I would have very much taken Denver. But then they have a quarterback that has not even taken snaps. That makes it very tough. The line is the Patriots -5 in Denver. I gather the line would have been close to even. We're going, you ready for this? Even with a second-string quarterback, small, Denver. And when I mean small, whatever your smallest bet may be, because I have to tell you, I'm doing this based on home. New England, a very well-coached team. Vrabel, great coach. Drake May, very good quarterback. Team, very good discipline. Small, Denver. Over-unders around 42. I don't have a clue. The Rams at Seattle. Another tough one. Why? I look at quarterbacks. Stafford versus Darnold. Darnold, 14 interceptions. That has me a little bit thinking. Rams, I watched them all year. because I had Puka Nacua on my fantasy league, and I won my fantasy league. We love the home team. Seattle -1. Another tough game, though. It's two tough games to handicap. We're just bailing out on them by taking the home team and the rabid fans there. If Stafford and the coaching staff of the Rams can figure out Seattle defense, forget about it. But we're going to go with Seattle based on their defense. And something else happened. Seattle lost one of their running backs. But they end up with Kenneth Walker, which will now get all of the handoffs. I think he's better than the guy who went out with the injury. So we're going with the two home teams. The over-under on Seattle Rams is 46.5. I have to respect the Seattle defense. Normally I'd go over. We're going to leave it be. So two home teams. Good luck to both. Should be good games. My Giants are out of it anyhow. But I do have a good coach coming next year. And that is your football picks. The worst we can do is 7-4 with these two games and the Super Bowl. We do not plan on losing 3 games in a row. But I got to tell you, you never know. We should have lost the Buffalo-Denver game. Buffalo was screwed big time. It's how it rolls sometimes. I've had games in basketball where I had the over, and they missed the over by 15, 20 points, but went into overtime, and then I won the game. And then I had the under, and then went into overtime, and I lost the game. You just don't know. You put your best foot forward, you think you have a good feel, and as we have done throughout the years, we have a pretty good feel throughout the playoffs. I think we've lost maybe 5 Super Bowls since the year 2000. That means we've won 20. Pretty darn good, huh? And I must admit, the 2 Giant games that we picked the Giants, we did that with the heart, not the head. I'm not so sure I would have taken the Giants if I wasn't a Giants fan. And I do believe we lost the Giants-Baltimore Super Bowl. That was in Tampa. That was one of the losses. That was early 2000s, I believe. Okay, that's your football. I'm asked to do things like who's scoring touchdowns and this and that. I'm not getting into that crap. Good luck to both teams. Ladies and gentlemen, today was a very weird day in the markets. For starters, what wasn't weird, I don't know what the hell's going on with silver and gold. But I could have given a case that it went climactic 3 weeks ago and last week, and silver's at another high, and they're just pressing the sucker. Do you know silver from the last breakout late November is nearing 100%? Silver. Stodgy silver. That basically did nothing for 15 years. I'm being asked if there's a worry on these moves. Is it teasing something? Is it telegraphing something? I hope not. That's the best way I can put it. And I'm beside myself that I didn't buy the silver weekly breakout back in June and the one in November. Gold. Same thing going on, but silver's much stronger than gold right now. Same thing. We did buy the gold in late August perfectly, but we let go of it when it got very extended. Just so you know, on the date of 10/20, the gold, the GLD, was at 403 with the 50-day at 340. That's extended. Up next, we'll talk more about that. Today's market, a lot of jello moving on the plate. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Thanks for being with us today. Anyway, we're talking silver and gold. Does it mean anything onerous going forward? I don't know. All I do know is we made a calculated move, and we were right. When it got very extended, bought back, but stopped out on a big gap and never got back in. And now on the latest move, gold has gone from 418 to 457, the GLD, in 7-8 days. Just a big wow. The banks. Those who listen to us know we believe used to be banks were the most important thing to watch. Banks' financials. And then they earned the right to move down to number 2 in 2008. Semiconductors are number 1. The banks have been acting just fine. And in fact, just 2 days ago, the regional bank select industry index, ETF, broke out beautifully on volume. Today, failed it. Tucked its head in like a frightened turtle. But also of note, Goldman, down 35 and change, breaking the 21-day moving average with volume. Bear with me. JP Morgan, which we had told you had a very poor reaction to earnings, deeper into its recent drop. In fact, it's now down about 13% in 2.5 weeks. Below the 50-day, approaching the 200-day. Volume patterns negative, relative strength heads lower. What else with the bad reactions? Wells Fargo. Gap down on earnings, living below the 50-day. What else reacted poorly to earnings? Bank America. Gap down below the 50-day, living below. What else? Citigroup. Dropped like a rock on earnings in between the 50 and 21-day moving average. Bank of New York acted very well on earnings. Broke the 21-day moving average. Did I tell you Goldman Sachs acted well on earnings also? Morgan Stanley. Great reaction to earnings. Gaps down Tuesday. Sits for a couple of days. Little break of the 21-day. The regional banks, as we stated, elevator up, elevator down. And what did that affect today? The small caps and mid caps that have been acting admirably. Small cap down 1.85%. Mid caps down 1% today. And the Dow was down 285. Why? Well, Goldman Sachs down 36 points. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 3 is 216. It's about 220 some odd Dow points, Goldman Sachs. So very rough day. We have some decent cushion in the mid caps, but gave back some. And the small caps, we got a small, not a big position, 1.8% today. Not thrilled. And remember what we said. Number two is the financials in the banks. Number two is the financials in the banks. So that has us very much on notice. Because if the banks gag, and there are a few that have, and the regional banks that elevator up on a breakdown and elevator right on a breakout, elevator down, quickly gives pause. We'll keep you informed. As always, just very important stuff. The banks. We already know what's working and what's not. We don't want to see financials go by the wayside. What else happened today that sticks out? Well, I mentioned gold and silver, but also, how about copper? Strong day. How about palladium and platinum? Strong days. Both broke out of flags in the last couple of days. Do you know platinum, an ETF that corresponds to the day-to-day move of platinum? It's gone from 87 to 250 in the last 8 months. I don't know what's made with platinum, but the cost to buy whatever it is going up. Palladium has gone from 95 to 184 in that same amount of time. And that gives us the question, isn't this inflationary? Isn't it? Anything made with platinum, you're going to pay through the nose. Anything made with palladium, and again, I'm going to have to look that up. Just questions I'm always asking. Stay tuned. I'll be doing a deep dive this weekend. What the hell is going on with these? Stunning. And you can go look at steel, stocks, copper, just metals. Symbol XME is a mining select metals and mining ETF, also another one. There you have it. But there was other jello moving on the plate today. In the Dow, Microsoft up 14 and change. Woke up yesterday, another good day today. And that's in advance of earnings that are this coming week. Keep in mind, Microsoft's been in a bear market, not so sure it's out of it. Up next, what else in these markets? Lots to cover. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. You know, I was just thinking, I just took the two home teams in the conference championships games, and one game I'm getting 5 and the other one I'm only giving 1. The home teams. And I would say 2 of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. Seattle is insane. And then I get to thinking, what are the bookies trying to tell us? What are the odds makers, with these lines? Now, I think I get the New England line. I think I get that one. But are they underselling Seattle, or are they begging us to take Seattle so we lose? Anyway, we got both home teams. And may the best teams win. I will promise you it'll come down to two things. Number one, turnovers. Number two, the refs. The refs are like politicians now. They're like DC. They're too involved. I hate when they stay out of a game and then they call them late, like they did those two pass interferences. The first one was definitely not. Second one was. Anyway, that'll be Sunday. Looking forward to good games. Super Bowl 2 weeks after. That's football. What else? As I mentioned, Microsoft and Meta woke up. Amazon woke up. So better day for the NASDAQ 100 that we're lagging. So guess what? And this is a change. While the Russell 2000 was down 1.8%, the NASDAQ 100 was up 0.35% and was actually much better. Was much better. At one time today, 25.7 was up finished up 87, was up 190 at one time. But the market came in late in the day. But for me, the big stories here are these metals. Wow. They do come under the heading of you never know. Yeah, you see silver breakout, okay, it'll go up 100% and still going up today. And pretty much breaking all rules of technical analysis. And right now closed at 93 with the 50-day moving average at 60. That's a lot of territory if it decides to come in. But I can tell you, there have been days in the last 3 weeks that looked like it was going to come in. It just went up the next day. Other financials were also a casualty today. Some of the mergers and acquisition companies like BlackRock, Blackstone, Evercore, and the like. One name did stand out, though, Capital One Financial. How about this? Down 17.77 today, 7.6%. Capital One breaking all support, was already gapped down on that credit card thingamabob by Trump. And I'm wondering, did that cause it today? I saw what they said. It was not good news. But did that really cause? I wouldn't call it dislocation in the banks and other financials. But certainly can't be ruled out. So less than thrilled. And again, leave no doubt. The thought process of what drives the bus in small and mid caps, boy, these financials. Big time, these financials. We'll see what happens when we come back on Monday. I was less than thrilled today. Especially when things are going your way. And then rug pull. I'm being asked a lot about the semiconductors. Well, if you want to know about extended, that too. They were weaker today, down about 100. The semis was worse. Saw some casualties today, but not so bad. You still had the equipment guys like AMAT and KLAC up on the day. There was some news on others, like Taiwan Semi was up. And then a few got smacked in the teeth. Some lesser known names. Not a biggie. They finally dropped SanDisk for $30 today, way overdue. and some others in that realm. But NASDAQ finished up on some big guys. Remember, whichever way the big guys go in a meaningful fashion, that's the way the NASDAQ 100 is going to go, and to a lesser extent the S&P. The sticking out today in the Dow, the two highest priced names, a total of $57 between Goldman Sachs and Caterpillar. Let's see, 57, so 59.6, 300, that's like 370 Dow points. And the Dow was down 285. Tells you what two stocks have influenced both up and down. I was on TV today, and I got some questions. I went on there and said, I always worry about gremlins showing up. Because all we hear right now, by the way, this is not a put down, from the president, golden age, 18 trillion. He actually said he expects the market to double. He didn't say in what time frame. Greatest economy ever. This is out of the president's mouth. And of course, other politicians on that side will echo that. And all the sycophants will echo that also, because with sycophants, their politician can do no wrong. I watched the sycophants under Biden make me throw up. And when I hear all this stuff, the talk of perfection, the greatest economy ever, I worry. I worry. I very much worry. We'll take it day by day and go from there. There's talk of government doing things with the housing. I hate that. I don't want government touching housing. Housing is normalizing itself right now. Government should stay the hell out of the way. Government has been the cause of it. Jay Powell, he's in government, caused all this. All of it. Distortions create distortions. Jay Powell was one big gargantuan distortion. With the printing to 9 trillion, buying up the bond market, taking the 10-year down 0.5%, giving you your 3% mortgages, nobody wanting to sell, which guarantees prices are going to soar. The distortions. And now we're seeing the other side. Prices are coming down in many areas. I want the president to leave it alone. Let price find its own level. Let supply and demand find an equilibrium. Right now, it is definitively a buyer's market in many an area. Even the hottest areas. Stay out of the way. Up next, any news of the day? This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Amazingly, while a ton of the U.S. is going to get just absolutely bombed with an Arctic blast, it is going to be 85 and mostly sunny in Orlando, Florida, where I'll be. Wow. It's amazing what a few hundred miles can do for weather. Let me repeat what I said at the beginning. Do not screw around with ice. You know, when snow comes down, cool. Play in the snow, make snowmen. Have a great time with your kids if you got sleds. But when it turns to ice, it will kill. And as we always say in hurricane season in Florida, hurricanes do not have bias. They will destroy you whether you're rich, poor, tall, skinny, blonde, brunette. There is no bias. Don't screw around. When you're hearing about ice, the other thing, hopefully you got generators. I suspect there's going to be some down lines out there. I'm looking at the map. Amazing how Florida is going to miss this. And by the way, we've had some 30-degree day. I mentioned the housing market, and let me just read something to you. Florida, Texas, and California, this is a little hyperbole, lead America's housing crash as other Sun Belt states start to crack as values plunge 7.6%. And it goes on to mention Florida, prices falling, Miami, Jacksonville, Orlando, and Lauderdale. Let me explain something to you. It's just normalization. Because of Powell and bubbles, you have people putting up homes that were $500,000 4 years ago and trying to get 1.4, and they're not. So they go to 1.3, and they're not, and 1.2, and they're not. And other people that wanted to sell start seeing that, and they put their house up, and now you're competing. There is a great country club, I'm not naming, in Orlando, 22 homes for sale. Another one went up today. How does that happen? Because they're not selling. Buyers now, upper hand. Sellers have to come down or pull the plug. And that's how the cycle works. If the president tries to come in and gooses it, the prices may go up again. There's your affordability problem. It's already an affordability problem because of Powell. Let the market deal with it. It'll take care of it. Over time and price. It's kind of simple as that. There were no tariff announcements today. Yay. I heard the president tweeted like 400 times last night. Didn't even look, don't care. I just care about outcome. I hope he gets it right. My biggest problem is just too much. Take a day off. That's all. Take a day off. Ain't gonna kill you. I don't think he can. Oh well. Segueing back to the market. Transport's down 257 today. Rough day. They have been strong. Economically sensitive stocks got smacked today. You know, I always look at United Rentals down $37 today. Not great. But the financials stick out like a sore thumb. Housing weak again today. I believe the biotech on the weaker side today. Just a mushy day overall, except for some mega caps and the metals. And the metals. And we hope there are no gremlins that are going to show up down the road that this move in metals have telegraphed. Let's hope we do have the greatest economy ever going forward. Let's hope the job market gets better, because the job market right now, no go. And all one has to do, go look at the ADP and Paychex. Two stocks in quite the bear market. They're only payroll companies. Paychex, 800,000 clients. Wow. Dang. That's a lot. I use Paychex. They do a pretty efficient job, I must say. And I got to tell you, I don't think they've ever made a mistake. And when you deal with numbers, often you do. Earnings, a crap load. This coming week, Meta, Microsoft. Week after, looks like Amazon. This coming week, Apple, Meta, Microsoft. That's pretty big. Yeah, it is. Did I say Tesla this week? That's 4 out of the big 8. Did I say Google yet? The week after with Amazon? Be ready. Wicked, wild, weird start to the year. 3 gaps to the upside, a fourth a few days later. Strong small and mids, only to get cut a little bit today, the small and mids. And will adjust if need be. But what sticks out for me today is them banks. They have been a breath of fresh air. A few of them are now anchors. And today, very much into the loss column. And if I start telling you they've topped, that'll be meaningful. You already got a few that way. We mentioned them to you. Don't want to see the rest. You have a great evening. Drive carefully when you get home. Do like we do. Make sure you hug your family and hug your children. They will feel better. You'll feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Until next week. Good night.